So, welcome back to the second session, which is, as we said, dedicated to the important question of the behavior and the expectations of Chinese outbound tourists. And again, we will go around clockwise, starting with some ideas about these new customers, and maybe looking a little more specifically into the question when we talk about the Chinese, actually who are the Chinese who are traveling. And I will also treat you to some theory of behavior, but which has very practical consequences. So if you don't mind to look to beer with a professor's approach for 10 minutes or so, you will see that this has very practical applications. And then we will come more specifically again to the question, what are the practical motivations, what are practical behaviors, especially of course in comparison to other tourists, like Japanese tourists, Western tourists, and in comparison to the Brazilian society, as much as I know about this, of course. So, I would like to start to tell you two little stories where I learned something about, again, different conceptions. So we remember the map of the world we had at the beginning of the first session, that we take things for granted, like we in Europe, that Europe is in the center of the map, and well, it's different for other people. And also other behaviors we can take for granted, and find what is actually different. So the first story about the face mask, actually it's not a story about China but about Japan. So 2 years ago I was invited by the Japanese government to do some research on tourism in Japan for 2 months, and in Tokyo. And when I went there, I saw that it was winter time, that most people were wearing this white gaze mask we have seen everywhere. So and I have always assumed that this is to protect yourself from viruses, so that you don't catch a cold, you don't get illness from other people. And well, when I was in Japan, I was commenting on this to my Japanese host, that it's a very good idea that the Japanese have this mask so they don't catch cold. Because one day he was coming to the office also wearing such a mask. And he said, no, that's not the idea. I'm wearing this mask because I have a cold. And I don't want the other people to catch cold. So it would be very selfish if I have a mask to protect myself. I'm not so important. It is to be polite to the rest of the people. If I have a cold, I protect them from me. This is a polite thing to do. But to show that I want to protect me from you, that would be very impolite. We would never do that in Japan. So, and I learned from that little story that I have been seeing photos or TV shows on Japanese people walking around with that mask for decades. And as a Western person, I always thought, okay, as an individual person, I'm important. So you do this to protect yourself. But only when I came there, I understood. That's a completely, from a Japanese point of view, a completely crazy idea. How could you be so impolite to signal to the other people, I want to be protected from you? So you see something and you have your normal interpretation, but then in fact it's different. And the second little story to start this session is about the Olympic Games. We've been talking about this. So in 2004, you will remember the Olympic Games were held in Athens, in Greece. And that was for the first time that there were many Chinese fans going there, supporting the athletes. And on television you could always see the Chinese fans waving Chinese flags and shouting, China, China, China. So after the Olympic Games, I happened to go to China again, and I asked my Chinese friends, several of them, why do the Chinese sport fans in Athens shout China, China? Why do they not shout Zhongguo, Zhongguo, which is China in Chinese? Like the Germans who go there, they will shout Deutschland and not Germany, because you want to support your own athletes, and so you shout in your own language, of course. And my Chinese friends looked at me and said more or less openly, what a stupid question. Some were more polite, and my closer friends said more clearly, well, you are so stupid, every 10-year-old understands it. And what the explanation was, the Chinese athletes who can compete in the Olympic Games for China are so proud to be able to represent China. They will give their very best anyway. No need to support them. So we don't have to go there to support our athletes. They will give their utmost anyway. We are there to show the world China is now so big and so rich. We can even afford to send people to the Olympic Games to support this. So we are shouting China, China to the TV cameras, to the rest of the world, not to the athletes. And is not everybody doing this? So they thought this is a normal thing to do, that's why we go there, to show to the other people, hey, we are strong. Not only the athletes, also the audience. So again, this was something where you see something and you have totally different interpretations, and when you talk about this, then okay, you learn it. But in most cases, of course, we don't have opportunity to talk. So we walk around with this misconception, and there will be misunderstandings coming from this. So just two stories to say, when you have new customers, you have to, of course, to try very hard to learn about these people. So, of course, to know your customers, I mean, that's the most common idea in our business, in any business. You must know your customer because you want to sell something to him. But when we talk about Chinese people, we have simply to understand that they are different from Brazilians, they're different from North Americans, they're different from Europeans, they're even different from Japanese people. And so, to put the main points just already at the beginning, so when we talk about the Chinese tourists coming here, where's the pointer? Over there, yes. So the first thing we have to see, when we talk about the Chinese people coming to Brazil, they're not coming for holidays. And this is the basic misconception also we have in the European tourism industry, that we always have this idea that tourism is holiday making, is recreation, is having some time to rest and to relax. Of course, also Chinese people want to have rest and relaxation in the holidays, but they will not travel to the other end of the world for that. To go to the beach or to just walk around in some nice nature. But you can do this in China. China is a huge country, even bigger than Brazil. And you have all different kinds of climates. So in the northeast, it's very close to Vladivostok, so it's very, very cold. In the south, Hainan Island, you have palm trees, subtropical climate. So you can go skiing, you can play golf, all this you can do in China. Or if you want to go outside of China, you go to a neighboring country, like Thailand or Malaysia or to Singapore, where many people speak Chinese, you get good Chinese food, much easier to organize, also cheaper, more convenient. So don't think of your Chinese customers who come to Brazil as holiday makers. This is, I think, one basic thing you get out of your head, because they are holiday makers, but they're not flying 25 hours to go swimming when you have so many nice beaches much closer to China. This is the first thing. The second thing is they're not coming here because of the carnival. So they have heard, we will talk about this, they have heard about this, but we have carnival in Germany, not as colorful and big as here, but we have the same experience that for the Chinese tour groups when they come to Germany, they avoid carnival because it's too chaotic, not secure enough, and anyway, nobody has time to take care of them because so many things are happening. So I think like, you know that better than me, but I think for German tourists, carnival is one of the big attractions, especially for visit to Rio de Janeiro. But for Chinese people, it's not. And the third point is, they're not looking for adventure and self-realization, like going to the Amazon rainforest and trying out their limits. So can I eat living spiders if there's nothing else to eat or whatever? So we are individual person from an individual society, an individualistic society. So we are trained from our parents, from school, to see ourselves as one person, as the center of the universe. So we have the idea of cogito ergo sum, Descartes. I'm thinking, therefore I am. So this is a very individualistic idea. Any Chinese will tell you that's total nonsense. If you're existing by only thinking, that means you don't need any surrounding, no environment. But how do you breathe? No air? Well, you will explode in 1 second. And you need an environment, you need a planet to stand on, and you need other people. So this our very basic idea of individual society is very different from the ideas of other people. So our big effort when we do something besides relaxation is to learn something new about ourselves, expand our limits, learn to, I don't know, to do paragliding, or go to the rainforest and learn how it is to live in this new environment, and looking what is this doing to me, how this is changing me, what am I learning as a person. So this is our basic idea, and again, seems very normal. Is not everybody doing this? No, this is individualistic society, but not group-oriented society. We come to that. One example I put here, how things can be misinterpreted is, so my Chinese friends always tell me, oh, you Western people, you always say thank you. If I do something, if I pour you a glass of water, you say, oh, thank you so much. And this is a sign of disrespect. How can that be? Disrespect? I'm only polite. But my Chinese friends told me, but I'm your friend. So if I offer you something to eat or a cup of tea, I'm a friend. Of course I'm doing it. If you say, oh, thank you very much, that's very kind of you, you are questioning our friendship. Because among friends, that's what you do. So if you say thank you, you treat me like I'm a stranger, but I'm your friend. So saying thank you is putting a division between, a border between you and me. To behave to me like if I were a waiter, but I'm not a waiter, I'm a friend. So of course I'm pouring you a cup of tea. So saying thank you is showing distance in the social relation. Again, that's an idea which is very strange for us. I mean, I'm sure most of you never thought about this before. So, or it can be hypocrisy, that people say, well, I have to say thank you to the waiter, well, it's his job. Or I have to say thank you very much, that's very kind of you, to the girl who is giving me the hotel key at the reception. She's paid for it. And she's not giving it the key to me because she likes me, but it's because I paid for the hotel room. So she doesn't care about me. Why should she smile? And why should I smile at her? It's just a business relation. So if we pretend that we have a personal friendship between the waiter and myself, this is just hypocrisy. This is just pretending. So this is one example of this ideas of having a different cultural background is translating into very different ideas how to interpret behavior.